thought you were a criminal and now you're scared? Just watch this video. You might be fine. Let's talk about that. Good morning. Now, as someone who is very cautious of what he does, not really, but for someone who cares enough and wants to know what is really legal. And if you think you're a criminal, just watch this video because you might have been doing something totally illegal. So now, let's see if you have been doing something you should be.
There are 20 things you won't believe are legal in the United States.
Let's go.
Number 20, owning a monkey. Did you ever watch reruns of Friends and think, I wish I could have a capuchin monkey for a pet like Ross? Well, wish no more. Exotic animals aren't what people normally think of as pet material, and they may be rare, but they are not illegal. Only 22 states ban owning monkeys, although some have special permits required. Oregon even allows owning a monkey as a service animal who can go anywhere with you. And there are training programs to train capuchin monkeys to assist people who are paralyzed. Those little hands are good for more than snatching treats from your cabinet. But they're not the only exotic animals you can keep as pets in some states. Number 19, owning dangerous wildlife. While some animals are regulated from import due to their status as endangered or invasive species, for the most part, animal laws are left up to the states. That means whichever state you enter, you might be entering a wild kingdom. Almost all states allow people to own large snakes, tarantulas, and scorpions.
Oh, I'm aware of that.
5 states allow people to own alligators without even requiring...
3 signs
Oh my
you are
God,
addicted to
YouTube.
stress.
Select Facebook. Selected. Add connect.
Stop scrolling.
Video. Add. Select. Add in. Skip ad.
There.
permits. Always wanted a giraffe? Head down to Florida. If you're a fan of wild cats, tigers, lions, and cheetahs are legal in a select few states. Just make sure
Heard
they're well fed.
cockroaches are
And
legal in
fans of Yogi
California.
Bear should probably head to Massachusetts, where they can have a picnic with their very own pet bear. But what if you don't want to own unusual animals? What if you want to eat them?
Oh,
Number
no.
18. Eating Lassie, Garfield, or Mr. Ed. If there are 3 animals Americans love, it's their cats, dogs, and horses.
No.
2 are beloved household pets, and the other is a noble steed, and can occasionally win you a lot of money at a racetrack. So it's not a surprise that the slaughtering and sale of these animals for food is banned. But what
Good.
isn't banned is eating them. It would have to be a private transaction with no money exchanged or an animal you owned, but if you really have that craving, it's totally legal to indulge it. Just don't expect the family pets to look you in the eye when you come home after your secretive
Don't mention
dinner.
that.
Some people's taste in meat, though, is a bit more wild. Number 17, eating roadkill.
No.
Well, at least you know it's fresh meat when you just saw it wandering across the road a few minutes ago, right? Most people don't think good eating when they just see a raccoon or an armadillo meet their end in a car accident, but it has a big cult following with recipes abound for harvested wild animals. There are concerns about parasites and other diseases coming from the untreated meat, which is why it's illegal in Texas, California, and Washington,
Thank
but
God.
otherwise go to town. And Montana even specifically passed a law guaranteeing your right to fill your belly with roadkill.
Why?
But that doesn't mean the food you buy at the store is entirely safe. Number 16, arsenic in your food. You've probably eaten a little bit of arsenic in many of the most common foods,
What's
including
arsenic?
rice, seafood, apples, and any fruit grown without
Spiders?
pesticides. Arsenic is considered one of the deadliest chemicals out there,
Oh.
packing toxins that can increase your risk for cancer and damage your heart with consistent exposure.
How is
That's
some of
why
this
the European
legal?
Union banned the chemical in their food products. But the US didn't follow suit. Instead, the FDA set maximum levels allowed in food products, which is supposedly safe, but a lot of people worry about eating it constantly. But these next legal food additives can cause some uncomfortable side effects.
Oh,
Number 15, Olestra in maltitol. People love to cut calories, especially when it means they can eat more of their favorite things. So when low-calorie potato chips made with a chemical fat substitute came out, there was excitement all around. Olestra seemed to be a miracle substance, except for one unfortunate side effect. It caused digestive distress in anyone who ate too much, leading to its ban in the European Union and Canada. But in the US,
Oh,
it joins
okay.
the sugar alcohol
So
maltitol
it's
as a
not
low-calorie
here, it's just in the
additive
US.
that can wreak havoc on your
But some of
digestive
these
system,
are
but
actually
remains
illegal in
legal.
Canada.
Care to chase those fat-free potato chips with some sugar-free gummy bears? To go with food, you'll need some drink, but be careful if you're underage. Number 14. Drinking underage. Kind of. The drinking age has been 21 for several decades in the United States, leading to a boom in fake IDs for college students, but it's not so clear-cut everywhere, and exceptions abound. 5 states don't allow any exceptions, but a majority of states let minors drink on private property with their parents around.
Yeah.
Half the states let minors drink for religious reasons, such as the Passover Seder, where 4 cups of wine are part of a religious rite. 11 states even allow minors to drink for educational reasons, so culinary school might look a lot more inviting to some kids. After a few drinks, it might be time to head to the casino. Number 13. Counting cards. You've seen it countless times on TV, the sneaky card counter cheating the casino. But the security team is wise to him. They grab him, escort him out without his money, and maybe rough him up a little on the way. But this is mostly fiction. In fact, card counting is legal. After all the gambler is doing is using their mind to increase the odds, not cheating. But you're on private property, and while you can't be arrested for it, that doesn't mean the security team can't throw you out in Vegas. But in Atlantic City, a state Supreme Court ruling made it fair play, and it's open season for those with sharp eyes. But some surprisingly legal things are closer to home. Number 12. Marrying your step-sibling.
Oh, no.
Imagine your single mom has gotten engaged, and now it's time to meet the family. You meet your new future stepdad and his kid, who is roughly the same age as you and happens to be the person you've had a crush on for years. Awkward. Guess that puts the kibosh on that potential relationship, right? Wrong. Well, there's definitely a family connection now. No state considers step-siblings to be legal family for the purposes of sexual relations and marriage. So feel free to live out those hot step-sibling
Well, your
fantasies.
parents might not talk
Just
to you.
maybe not when the folks are around.
Yeah.
But it's not the only family connection that's legal. Number 11. Marrying your cousin?
No.
When people talk about
In
marrying their
Alabama.
cousin, most people probably hear the banjo music in their heads. It's definitely
Yeah.
frowned upon by a lot of people, but it's actually not
Exactly
as
what I hear.
illegal as you might think. A majority of U.S. states allow people to marry their first cousin, their aunt or uncle's child, which might make for some awkward family reunions. While the other states have restrictions like requiring first cousins to be over 65 when they marry in Arizona,
What?
all 50 states allow second cousins to marry. From marriage to funerals, it's always possible to keep things local.
Why would you marry
Number
at
10,
65 years
backyard
old?
graves. So, great uncle Lester passed away and left you his house. But there is one problem. He always swore to haunt anyone who ever made him leave his house. And you're not sure if you want to chance it. The good news is that it might be completely legal to bury him right there in the backyard. Most states allow this as long as all zoning laws are followed. Just treat it like a standard construction project. Instead of hollowing out the backyard for a pool, you're doing it for a coffin. Every state has different laws, but if the conditions are safe, most states will authorize a backyard burial. But some unexpected laws deal with the aftermath of a birth, not death. Number 9. Refusing vaccines for a child. Vaccines have nearly eradicated a wide range of childhood diseases, including measles, mumps, and polio, but not everyone is on board with these shots. And not just because they're painful. A bunch of parents have started worrying about
Learning how to draw.
my God.
Don't just follow instructions. Download
Upload CV uploaded.
Express yourself.
Video at skip ads.
chemicals and metals inside the vaccines, with some claiming they can cause disorders like autism. Authorities have said these refusals endanger the public and constitute medical neglect, but most states still allow parents to claim religious exemptions for vaccines, which means they're allowed to send their kids to school unvaccinated. That's not the only time parents make some questionable child-rearing decisions. Number 8. Baby walkers. There's nothing cuter than a baby
What?
scooting around under their
That-
own power for the first time, so it's not a surprise that some parents have tried to rush that process a little. Baby walkers were invented with the best of intentions, helping children learn how to walk with wheeled devices that let them move with
So
very
it's like
little leg
how
power.
they have
But
dog
medical
walkers
experts
to
believe this may
walk
actually
your
slow
baby
down
every day,
muscle
that-
development by
yeah, okay.
discouraging
I
independent
can see
walking.
that then.
And they may also be dangerous by letting babies move too fast to
Yeah.
perilous locations like stairs. This led the walkers to be banned in Canada, but not in the US. When it
Okay,
comes
well,
to babies,
in
it's
Canada,
surprisingly
so-
easy to accidentally put them in danger. But that hasn't stopped these laws. Number 7. Leaving baby in a car.
Ah!
Most parents know it's dangerous to leave a baby in the car for even a short time during a hot summer day, but what about the cool fall or moderate winter? Leaving a baby in the car might seem risky, but it's not illegal in 31 states.
Oh, good.
What is illegal, though, is child endangerment. So if anything goes wrong, like an unexpected car theft with the baby still there, the parent could be prosecuted. In 19 states, it's illegal no matter what. But in the rest of them, well, any parent had just better hope things go smoothly and there isn't a person with 300 coupons in the express lane. But these next laws probably won't hurt the parents more than the kids, no matter what they claim. Number 6. Spanking and corporal punishment. While some
What?
countries have taken steps to ban spanking, claiming it's detrimental to kids' development, it's still legal in all 50 states, and that includes the much-feared meeting with dad's belt. Every state has different regulations about what's going too far. More surprisingly, though, corporal punishment at schools is still legal in 19 U.S. states, almost all in the American South and West. And if you thought the tension was bad, the tradition of paddling of boarding school movies is still a reality for kids in the
No.
Bible Belt and other states. A lot of other things you might assume were illegal are actually all clear. Number 5. Sleeping in your car. If you've had a long time on the road and there
I thought
isn't
that was
any
illegal.
convenient hotel anywhere, it might be tempting to just catch some shut-eye in your car. And this is legal in almost all states, as long as you're not drunk. Despite it being better to sleep in your car than drive it when you're drunk, it's illegal to be in your car at all if you've had one too many. But in 14 states, sleeping in your car might be a bit easier. These states, most of which are along highways popular with long-haul truckers, let you sleep in your car at roadside rest stops. But this next car non-crime might give some people an eyeful. Number 4. Driving naked. Your car is your property,
my
and that means you
God,
can do
bro.
whatever you want in it within reason. And much like you can get naked in your own home, you can get naked in your car, even though sitting on those leather seats naked won't be a comfortable experience. But there's one problem with this new driving adventure. Just make sure to have your clothing back on when you get in or out of the car. Because while you can be naked inside your car, as soon as you're outside it, that's public indecency. And it's right off to jail in some less than flattering prison clothes. And while driving, you might want to save yourself some money. Number 3. Using radar detectors. We've probably all been there. You're driving through a sleepy little town, you inch 1 mile over the speed limit, and then suddenly a cop car's
Oh,
right
yeah.
behind you, writing you a hefty ticket. The good news is
I
there's a
can't
way
drive
to
that.
avoid it with laser detectors that
I'm
will
blind.
alert you when a speed trap is lurking. While cops likely don't like these devices much, they're legal in all states besides West Virginia and Washington, D.C. for
Track
security
10 minutes
reasons.
elapsed of
Laser
12
jammers,
minutes.
which prevent radars from picking up your speed, are more controversial but still legal in 40 states.
Wow.
The next one is one of the coolest things you can do, but it's not illegal. Number 2. Misrepresenting yourself online. As relationships move to the online world, this has become so common there's even a word for it: catfishing. People get involved with someone
I've heard of it
online
before,
with
yeah.
only a picture and their words to go off, and then they turn out to be someone completely different. There's even a series where an investigative team finds out the truth about these online personalities'
show
actual
even.
identities called, you guessed it, catfish. But as cruel as it can be to lie to someone, it's only illegal if done to defraud someone out of money. Otherwise, let the smitten online beware. But no non-crime shocks people as much as this next one. Number 1. Tearing off the mattress tag. It says so right there. Do not tear the tag off under penalty
can
of
do it.
law.
I've heard that for
Surely, if you
years.
touch it, the FBI is coming for you, right? Well, not quite. That tag is accurate, but it's not for you. It's for the seller and only the seller, so its origin can be tracked for any potential recalls or quality issues. But once you purchase it, feel free to cut it off. The only consequence is that you can't resell that mattress legally. But there isn't much of a market for used mattresses anyway. This is probably a big relief to scissor-wielding kids everywhere. For more obscure laws, check out illegal things that you do every day. Or check out 20 U.S. foods you never knew were illegal to eat for how U.S. laws affect your diet.
We are
Here
probably
are
going to do that one next week. Thanks for sticking with us. It's episode 25, which last year around this time I did a show called Good Mythical Google, similar to this show, but it only made it to 22. So I've put a lot more effort into this season. But tune in next week for a whirlwind of good episodes again. Be your mythical best, and goodbye.